Hello and welcome to Solemate Runners, the podcast. I'm Paul Bettridge.
And I'm Aimee Tippins. We're a middle-aged couple who like to run ultras together.
So we decided to start a podcast about our experiences in the ultra running world.
Especially as we're embarking on an adventure, taking on our biggest race yet at the end of this year.
And that race is the Winter Downs 200, a 200-mile ultra marathon in December.
So whatever you're doing, we hope you enjoy us waffling on for an hour or so.
Waffling on? I don't waffle on. I'm a professional. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us here once again in our running room. For those who are watching on YouTube, it's our room full of running stuff. And those who are listening, it's still a room full of running stuff. Trainers, clothes, all that stuff. Right. We are March 2025 and we are on episode
4.
We're still under 10 at the moment, so yeah, we're a bit mixed up with them. So there you go. But right, we've got to do this one because we did this event not so long ago, and if we don't do it, Aimee will forget.
I'll forget.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Right, the event we're talking about, obviously again, if you're watching, you can see by the t-shirts we are donning, it is the Big Bear events that we've done a couple of, and we've recently done one, and I'm going to pass over to Aimee so she can explain what they are, because I would just go, it's a race. But
It's not really a race.
anything with a start and a finish,
Yeah.
to me, is a race. But it's not a race. Right, Aimee, what is a Big Bear event?
So Big Bear events are events that take place at a number of different locations. The Elephant Challenge that we've done twice now takes place in Salcey Forest near Northampton. It's a 6-hour event, so it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and in theory you've got till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm saying in theory. It's a 3.5 mile loop.
Yeah, they're all around the same though, aren't they? All is about 3 to 5 mile loops.
Yeah, I think
Different
so.
events,
I think
yeah.
so. So you've got 6 hours to run as many loops, so in this case 3.5 mile loops, as you want to in the 6 hours. But you can technically go over the 6 hours because the rule is if you've started your last lap before the 6 hours runs out, you are allowed to complete that lap.
Yeah.
So if you went out at, say, 5 to 3, started at 9, you've got to finish by 3 o'clock. If you started your last lap at 5 to 3, you can finish that lap. So you can run for a bit more than 6 hours if you want to. Don't have to.
No.
But that's the point with these challenges, and it's one of the reasons why we like them so much, isn't it? They're completely accessible and kind of available to all. It doesn't matter what distance you want to run.
Yeah.
You can do as few or as many laps as you want. So you could just rock up and do a couple of laps. You could just do a 10k, half marathon. People use it as a gateway to potentially doing, say, a marathon, or you can use it as a gateway to do your first ultra distance.
There's no pressure, is there, if you see what I mean? It's not like a race.
You run what distance you want to do for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's great. And they're so welcoming and inclusive. They're brilliant. And what Paul, not this Paul, the race director is also called Paul Albon.
Yeah.
What he does is specifically for marathon distance. Obviously, the mileage of a marathon, 26.2 miles, doesn't fit neatly into the 3.5 mile loops. So what he'll do is he marks on the trail the turn point. So if you're looking to do a marathon, you know after you've done however many laps it is.
I think he tells you.
He tells you in the race briefing what you need to do if you want to get a marathon. But when you've done however many complete laps you need to do, you then have to do a part lap to get to the marathon distance, and he marks on the loop the turning point. So you know on your final out, you can get to that marker, turn, and just come back to the finish when you've done your marathon distance. So I just think it's really good. And he clearly says in the race briefing how many laps you need to do to get to certain milestone distances. And obviously within 6 hours, you can do an ultra distance.
Yeah.
You can go over 50k. I think he mentions potentially 50 miles, but I think you'd have to be going pretty fast. It's doable, I guess, if you're an elite runner. You could get to 50 miles. 50k is more...
50 miles is going. So
much more realistic.
That's Zach Bitter territory. That's getting
that's
100
what I'm
mile
saying.
in 12
You'd
hours.
have to be elite. But
which I'm close to, but...
not. So, Very accessible events.
Yep.
Another thing that's quite cool about Big Bear events, I'm not sure if this is every single event that he runs, but I know quite a few of them. They're also welcoming to Canicross runners as well.
Razzles.
You can enter as Canicross.
Razzles.
Yeah, Paul calls all dogs Razzle for reasons only known to Paul.
No, and people of our age group will, if they watched telly when they were a kid, because it must have been when was I a nipper? Like, it's got to be 80s. There was a programme on TV called Johnny Briggs. Now, obviously, you probably didn't watch that kind of stuff. Oh, I did. Johnny Briggs. And it was about a little lad who got a dog called Razzle. And I remember the theme tune.
Okay. Oh, please don't sing.
No, it's not a singing one. It was a trumpet. And I think it went... And that was Johnny Briggs. And people are watching this and, well, you Google it, and that, you'd think I was the one who did that back in the day.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
So all dogs are called Razzles, and they do the Razzle Cross, which I think's cheating.
Canicross. How is it cheating?
Look, it's a bit controversial, but it's like bikes, electric bikes. Electric bikes is cheating. Having a Razzle in front of you that is legging it faster than you, it's pulling you along. It's like battery powered bikes.
Okay, that's definitely controversial.
Yeah, but that's why I don't have a dog. Because I'd be quicker than you if I had a dog. Yeah, actually, I might be missing somebody. But anyway, you got sidetracked then.
I got sidetracked.
They do, so 6 hour event, they do Razzle Cross.
Some of them you can run as Canicross, which is pretty cool. Another thing that we really like about Big Bear events, I mean, I know we've only done the Elephant Challenge for 2 years, but for us it's great. And the reason we signed up this year, it's a great training run. Yeah. You can use it to practice nutrition. So we've said in our intro episode, we did say how important it is. How important it is to practice your nutrition. You need to do training runs using the nutrition that you're planning to use on your race if you're training for an ultra. And these are great. Don't go there. These are great events because you could take your own nutrition. So if you've got your own fueling plan, take along what you think you're going to need to run the distance you're planning to run at the event and just use it. And every time you cook, because it's loops, you can come back. They provide a table where you can put your stuff on it, your own drink or food or snacks or whatever you've brought. You can put that there at the start and finish. Toilets as well there, which is
there's
toilets by the start and finish. Yeah. So you can use it to practice your nutrition and make sure that nutrition works for you.
You just eat whatever's there.
Crucial. Or they do put on a really good aid station.
Yeah, because
at the start and finish.
They had electrolytes, Coke, water. They had quite a lot of stuff. I didn't obviously use that.
And there was plenty of snacks, all sorts of different things. There was little pizza slices. There was different sandwiches. They'd got things like Jaffa cakes. There was various sweets. I'm trying to think what else I had. Cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plenty of food put on by the race organisers. So you don't have to take your own food and drink, but you can if you want to practice your nutrition. You could also use it to practice with kit. So if you've got, if you've bought new poles or, dare I say it, new trainers. I wouldn't recommend wearing a brand new pair of trainers to try and run an ultra, but we'll come on to that.
I don't know what you mean.
But you could use the event to practice for that sort of thing.
Yeah, they are good.
And because there's no pressure, it doesn't matter if you go along and maybe you've tried out a new nutrition or a new gel or something and you don't get on with it, maybe it gives you a bit of an upset stomach, doesn't matter, pull out.
Yeah.
You don't have to carry on running.
Yeah,
you still get a medal.
But it is from our point. Obviously, this is about ultra running. So from our point of view, doing a good 6 hour run, it's, you know what I mean. It's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
When we say there's no pressure, because I know joking aside at the beginning, I said it was like a race. I take it as a race.
It's not.
Well, I'm racing you normally most of the time.
Oh yeah, we race each other.
And to be fair, you beat me. But anyway, we'll come on to who won it out of me and you. I forgot what I was going to say then because I was just thinking about my trainers. They're brilliant. Like I said, there's no pressure because it isn't a race environment. And if you are going from... Because there was that girl there who she'd done a half, hadn't she? And she wanted to do her first
I was
marathon.
talking to a lady. It was quite funny actually because we spoke kind of after she completed the marathon distance. I saw her... We said there was a turning point, you needed to go back to do a marathon. I saw her after that and we both
Yeah, because she was doing well.
We were both really happy. We'd seen each other on various laps, and I think each time we'd seen each other, we kind of spurred each other on a little bit. You were racing each other. Because we were running at similar pace, and I think with any kind of loop event, you kind of do this with people. You overtake them, they overtake you, and then you overtake them. And I think we spurred each other on a little bit. We both admitted that when we spoke afterwards.
Spurred each other.
Neither of us knew what the other one's target was or anything, but we were aware of each other on the course, and we'd smiled a few times, but hadn't actually spoken until afterwards. But I saw her after she'd completed her marathon, and I was ecstatic because I'd actually got a marathon PB for me at that point. And we had this little conversation, and it was her first ever marathon. She'd only ever run a half marathon distance. She'd never attempted a marathon before, and she'd booked this event to run a marathon. Yeah. And she absolutely smashed it. She did amazing.
Definitely. But like, there's no pressure, is there? Because you're doing it for yourself.
These are perfect events for that.
Yeah. Because some people would get nervous going into, like we did when we started doing our first races. When you're at the start line, you are there and you're nervous, and you do, and you cannot help it, but you kind of look around at these start lines, and you're sort of going, oh no, because you compare yourself to loads of other people, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Oh, he's better than me. Look what he's, and it just, because that can knock you a little bit until you get going. But on these, because you're not racing each other. You're just against yourself, and it's so calm.
So I mean,
brilliant.
I mean, there were some people that went out really fast at the start, and normally on an ultra, I'd be like, oh, they're going to blow up. But on this, you just think, well, no, they might be out to get their fastest ever half marathon, and they might be trying to beat their marathon PB, and then they'll run the 26 miles, and then they'll stop.
I think I was first for about 8 seconds. I think I was until that first corner.
Yeah, they're really good events, really, really good.
Yeah. Oh, and they do the night ones as well, don't they? Sorry, I butted in, but what was you going to say?
Well, we were going to come on to that. I was going to talk about the medals.
Oh, yes.
Another thing that I mean, a lot of people think that medals aren't that important, and
unless you're
I know with a lot of races now, you can opt to not have a medal, but I like a medal.
You do love a medal, don't you?
I really like the Big Bear Events medals. We've
got to try and describe this. So, for people listening, but obviously people on YouTube, you can see it. But it's actually quite good. Look at them. They're nice. It's a shiny medal, and it is, what did we...
Enamel.
It's enamel, so it's got an enamel picture on it.
Really colourful as well.
But one thing you love about them...
Yeah, what I love about the Big Bear medals...
Which I find very strange.
I'll try and show it to the camera, but on the ribbon, it gives the date. So it actually says on this one, Salcey Forest, 7th of March 2024, and that one says 7th of March 2025. So, and it's a different medal.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same event. I don't really like it if you run the same event year on year and you get identical medals with not even the date on it. I don't like that.
We've had a few like that, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's almost like they're trying to get rid of...
They obviously buy
job lot
of them, and I understand that's more cost effective, but
yeah.
I like it to be unique to the event, and for memory purposes in the future when I'm looking back at what races we've done, I want to know, because I'm going to forget what years we ran races, but I'll always know that this was the 2024 Elephant Challenge because it says it on the ribbon.
Yeah.
And we'll know that the other one is the 25 one.
You do sing praises for their medals.
I love Big Bear medals.
And you can get one of them for just doing one lap, can't you?
Yeah.
One lap or 10 laps.
Yep. Doesn't matter what you run, you still get the medal.
And, which we may have had these last year, but I don't think I picked them up.
We don't remember whether we got a badge last year.
You get a little badge. And little things like, I think these are quirky and I think they're quite cool. So you get a little badge with either... I've just, for people listening, it's shot out my hand and fell on the floor. But you get a little badge. I think there was like half marathon, 10k, 5k, ultra. You get little badges. It's nice, you know what I mean?
So we got a badge each that said ultra marathon because we did both do the ultra distance this year.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that was an undercover dig. That was harsh.
Yeah. And also, just while we're talking about Big Bear events, because we'll come on to the specific Elephant Challenge in a minute, but the 6-hour events, they do at quite a few different locations, don't they? But they also do some night runs as well, which are pretty cool.
Yes.
So when we did the Salcey Forest one a few weeks back, we actually stayed on, didn't we?
It's a Petzl challenge, isn't it?
It's not Petzl. Paul always calls it Petzl.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Petzl. It's Petzl, as in the head torch.
Torch.
So it's called the Petzl Night Trail.
That's
and it's a 10k race. So it's in the same location, 10k race, around the same loop, but it's a night race. So,
Yeah.
so they wear head torches.
And the Razzles are
in
out.
the dark. And again, they also allow Canicross runners as well for that event. So we marshalled on that one, which was really good fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we've marshalled on two of them, haven't we?
It's the second time we've
night
marshalled,
ones.
yeah, for night trail races for Big Bear events. Really good fun.
I think I had the best aid station last year with all my lights and everything. Christmas flashing lights. Yeah, I was there. Weren't sending anybody the wrong way either.
No.
No.
It was good fun. I like marshalling. It's good fun.
Yeah.
It's good to give back as well.
They
Help
are.
out at events like this.
Right. So what we're going to do, we are going to put all the information for Big Bear events wherever you put it on YouTube and wherever you put it on the podcast Duva. We are going to put all the information there so you can have a look at it.
And
but
we should just clarify, we're not sponsored by Big Bear events. We're not being paid.
Oh,
we're not being paid to do this.
But
he doesn't even know we're doing this.
Obviously, Paul, if you're watching, you know, I'm just saying. But no, we're going to go through, like we said, our races and that. But this one, because we've just done it.
And because we've done it twice, we just thought it just makes sense to do an episode just on the Big Bear events.
Because they were very, very different outcomes.
We had two very different experiences a year apart.
Yeah, right. Where are we going to start? Obviously, we've got to start with the first race.
So let's go back to March 2024. How did we find Big Bear?
We've missed something.
Go on.
We've missed something. So when you finish, what else did you get?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we forgot this little bit.
You're really bigging it up.
It was a drink, and so you got a fruit juice if you wanted that, or a non-alcoholic beer, but you also got,
a flapjack.
Which we feel privileged because we did the last race. They did these flapjacks that were
they're amazing.
pretty good. But geezer's retired, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, bless him. I think from what the race director said, he retired 2 years ago, but Big Bear kept pestering him for these flapjacks, but they were good. I had to remember. It come to my head, so I had to put that in. Right, don't get sidetracked now. Right, let's start with the first event, because we didn't know anything about these, to be totally honest with you. And it come about because Aimee, very stupidly, signed up for it the day before.
No, that's not true.
Oh no, it was me. What happened?
It's always you that does these impulsive things.
No, there was a reason. Well, we blame a friend of ours, David Smart, because he was signed up to do this. And I think what had happened, he put
something on Facebook saying that he was going to be running it the next day.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, what's that then? What's that? So he put on that he was doing this 6-hour event. I think we might have been training for something anyway last year. We would have been training for something.
Yeah, we were training for the bridge.
Yeah. So we were training, and then this come up, and I think I saw it on Facebook of the morning of the day before, but it had closed, so you couldn't enter. But then David said, I'll speak to the race director and see what I can do. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this was really because not through training.
I won't admit this at the time.
I weren't that bothered really, but I'd got these bad boys. So if you're listening, I'd got some Altra. So obviously, you know, we are big fans of the Altra brand. They had brought out their carbon fibre Lamborghini racing mega, you know, McLaren F1 trainers. I was on not a waiting list, you know, when you pre-order them. Yes. I pre-ordered them and they'd come in. So my brain went, right, 6-hour event. I don't even know where, I think I'd seen, I want to say it was the chap off, I may be wrong, but the guy off Tea Trails. What's his name? Oh man, his name's gone. But anyway, the guy off Tea Trails is an Ultra van, and he got some of these. I'm sure, well, somebody said they got them out of the box and did a race in them. And I knew from personal experience that we wear the Ultra trainers. So what could go wrong?
Well, one, you've never owned a pair of carbon trainers.
No, I have. I've got the road ones.
Did you have those before?
Yes, and those I've got on with, but the most I've ever done in them is 13 mile, because we did a half. We did the Worcester half.
Okay.
So I have got carbons. So anyway, that was one of the reasons, because I thought, you know what, I can try these bad boys out. What a mistake that was. Anyway, we signed up for it, didn't we? I gave you loads of time to get ready, because obviously you take about as much time as I do. So I said on the day before, we are doing a 6-hour event tomorrow.
He's saying the day before, it was the night before that this was actually confirmed.
You had a good 3 hours.
So it was quite late on the night that he said, oh, by the way, we're racing tomorrow. I say racing, we're running. So I like to be prepared, don't I? I like to get everything ready the night before and charge my watch and all that sort of stuff. So, I don't feel I had the usual time to prepare. It was all a bit chaotic. And we had to leave early in the morning, didn't we? Because it's like an hour and a half drive for us, rush hour traffic, and we needed to get there in good time. So we left pretty early.
I think it's about 6:30.
So I got up, put my watch on charge, and then we were faffing around. I was having my breakfast, trying to work out what to wear, looking at the weather and everything. And then we set off, and we were halfway there, and I realised I'd left my watch on charge at home. I could have cried. I remember being devastated.
Devastated. No watch.
Running without my watch. That means the run didn't happen. Effectively.
Yeah.
That was my view on it at the time. I was gutted. You were
not setting off on a good foot, really, was you? You wasn't very happy.
I wasn't very happy about that. So, so we got there, and then I didn't even know that he was planning to run in brand new trainers out of the box. He'd already put them in the car without me noticing. So when we got there, he produced this box and announced that he was going to run in them.
Beauties.
I remember saying, "You're crazy, and this is not going to end well."
But... yeah, well, could have gone both ways.
We also should point out, because we have put footage on Instagram, and so it is available for anyone that wants to go look. He also did it dressed as a Roman.
As a Roman, yeah. Yeah, with a flag.
I didn't, because I didn't have enough time to prepare my costume or anything. We have done Roman runs in the past, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
It's because of a connection we've got with the Beyond Recovery Project. We sometimes run as the Running Romans. Whole other story. You decided to do that event as a running Roman, didn't you?
Yes.
So not only was he wearing brand new trainers out of the box, but he was also dressed as a Roman, wearing a big helmet
and a flag
and carrying a flag on the back.
And it was windy.
And it was very windy, yeah.
That's what probably did it for me then. It must have been the wind.
No, you can't blame the flag because you took it off after one lap.
I had to take it off. It was like a sail.
You were going to take off, weren't you? So yeah, you took that off after one lap.
To be honest, it all started all right, I think. We went quite well. I think
we ran with David, didn't we?
Yeah, we set off. You lot set off way too quick.
We ran with our friend David for the first few laps.
So we were here for 6 hours and you lot were trying to go like Mo Farah pace.
No.
You were going quick.
Well, I had no idea what pace I was running at because I didn't know my watch.
Oh, yeah. You didn't mention you didn't tell your watch. You didn't mention the whole time.
I had to run entirely on feel because I couldn't see what my pace was or anything. It was a weird feeling.
It's probably a good feeling. We
call it naked running, don't we?
Yeah, we do rely on these a bit too much, and it is
very heavily rely on my watch. But...
yeah.
So yeah, we started running. It was okay weather, wasn't it? It was a little bit. I remember it being quite chilly to start. Yeah, we had gloves on, but then you warm up, don't you? So we warmed up. It was dry and it wasn't particularly muddy, was it? There was a couple of little muddy patches, but it was good weather for running for March. Yeah. Could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
So yeah, then Paul started to moan that his feet were hurting. I could tell when Paul's struggling, he goes quiet and doesn't want to talk anymore.
What lap was this? I think we did 2 laps.
Maybe 3.
I think it was the 3rd lap and I was thinking, I didn't say anything, but I was thinking...
No, you just went quiet.
I was thinking, why are my Achilles hurting? I'm getting some odd, not pain, it was like an ache, it was a feeling around my Achilles that I don't normally get. So I was thinking... Don't say anything. I think I kept saying to you lot, I think we're going too quick.
You did keep moaning that we were running too fast.
Which I was thinking, if they slow down, at least hopefully I'll get used to these. Because I had bigged up these trainers a lot. I had. In my head, I was thinking I was going out there and I was getting 50k. 50k in 4 hours. That's how quick I was going to be going. That's
Okay.
I got these new tyres on my feet and they were slicks. I was going.
Okay.
Was it after lap 4 I started sulking? Was that when you left me?
I can't remember which lap I left you on, but...
It was early doors.
I can tell when things are bad with Paul because that's when he goes, just leave me, just go. And then I'm like, yeah, he doesn't want to talk anymore. So, and that's another thing when you're running loop races. If you're running it together, it doesn't matter if you separate because you still see each other. Although actually, I don't think I did see you.
No, you didn't know because you just left
me
stranded
see you again.
To fend for myself.
Until the finish. So yeah, I carried on running. I remember doing a couple of videos on my phone while I was running. I was like, oh, I'm on my 8th lap. I've no idea where Paul is and haven't seen him. Don't even know if he's still running.
Yeah.
And then I think on my penultimate lap, you were at the finish, weren't you?
Yeah.
Waiting for me. He'd completely changed. He was just in his normal clothes, different pair of trainers. I was like, well, oh, and he was wearing his medal.
Yeah.
So, oh, you've stopped then.
I had quite a big sense of humour failure, to be honest.
Yeah, you weren't in a very good place, were you?
No, I was very disappointed in my legs.
So Paul ended up running...
Oh, we've got stats.
We've got the stats
We've got the
here.
stats.
So you did 24.5 miles.
I think they were even saying, because all I had to do, you said earlier about going back to that thing.
You only needed to run to the turning point and come back, and you'd have got a marathon.
Yeah, so I got to that point, and it was, what was it, 2 mile, wasn't it? It wasn't even 2 mile.
Well, if you did 24.5, you only needed to do 1.7.
So you were
in
literally
total,
going out.
So you needed to run out
wasn't even a mile.
3/4 of a mile and back again.
I couldn't. I couldn't. I was struggling to walk. That's how bad. It really did cop me.
So how many laps had you actually done?
Not a clue.
You've done 24.5. I think that's 7 laps. I think it was 7 laps to get to a marathon.
Was it 7?
Because you needed to do 8 to have been classed as running an ultra.
I'll tell you, it probably felt like a lot more than that. It was bad. It was bad. And to see you going off and just smiling and enjoying it. Yeah. I think nutrition, what was we doing on nutrition on that? Did we? I think we just used theirs on that day.
From memory, we did have our own water bottles with Tailwind, I think. We did have our own
Was it those carry bottles? Was we using those carry ones? The ones we carry?
No.
I don't think we had them then.
No, but I think we did have our water bottles at the table by the...
Yeah, we might have just had a drink, but...
But I don't think we took our own food.
Yeah, so it did...
From memory.
I don't think nutrition on that time, for me,
no,
was an issue.
It wasn't nutrition that was the issue. It was your feet.
It wasn't my feet. It was my legs. It was my legs. I think what I've...
Caused by the new trainers.
I don't know.
100%, just admit it.
No, because I think because it was cold.
Oh my goodness, here come the excuses.
Hear me out. Because it was cold, I think I might have picked up a knee chill. So, this is very serious.
A what?
A knee chill. So my knees, you must have heard this.
No.
People trekking the North Pole and that get knee chills. And what it is, why are you laughing? I thought you meant to support me on all these. Because my knees got really cold, because obviously I was wearing shorts and it was cold because I had gloves on, I got knee chills, which then my knees went tight, which then affected my calves, which then went down to my Achilles and made them really tight.
Okay.
That's what I think I had. Runner's knee chill.
Biggest load of rubbish I've ever heard.
Google runner's knee chill. It's on there. Oh, that's what I think I had. I don't think it was the trainers. Why would it be carbon fibre trainers straight out of the box?
Obviously.
When you're not used to them.
It was obviously the trainers straight out of the box.
Yeah.
So, Paul did 24.5 miles in 4 hours, 40 minutes. So you ran for 4 hours, 40 minutes and then you stopped.
I'm going to be honest, I don't think I ran that full 4 hours, 40 minutes. Oh, no.
There was some walking, was there?
What's it called? Jeffing?
Jeffing, okay.
Yeah, but I was doing a lot more effing than jeffing. I was. Yeah.
Okay. So I carried on. I just kept running. No idea what pace I was doing because I wasn't wearing a watch. And I was quite enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I think I'd done 9 laps because I remember, again, videoing going, this is my 9th lap. I have no idea what pace I'm running or how long I've been running. As I approached the finish, you were waiting for me.
Yeah.
And you and the race director both said to me,
Go
you might
again.
as well go again. I think I'd got about 20 minutes before the 6 hours ran out, so they both said to me...
Yeah, because you genuinely haven't got a clue where you were at, really.
No, I had no clue whatsoever. So I went out again. And at that point, there were very few people on the course. I remember running long sections of it, not seeing another runner. So yeah, I ran again.
Yeah.
I stopped 6 hours, 12 minutes, 22 seconds. And so that meant I'd run 35 miles. So I definitely did an ultra.
I didn't want to run 35 miles.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You did. So that was our first...
Yeah, so there isn't a first and second place, but there's a leaderboard for the amount of miles.
They do publish a leaderboard, yes.
So come on then, come on.
What?
Tell us where you come on the leaderboard. We know you want to.
I was 2nd female and 4th overall.
It's alright. You did well. Didn't get first though, did you?
Especially considering I didn't want to do it and got dragged into it at the last minute.
Yeah, sometimes if you've got too much time to think about stuff, you don't do it. So just boom, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
Yeah.
And you did well.
I ended up really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, like I said, brilliant event. So we did that.
And then in the interim, so that was in the March 24. In October 24, we didn't run a Big Bear event, but we did go along and marshal.
Oh yeah, we did the evening Petzl.
We connected up with, there's a Big Bear Facebook page for people that want to volunteer, and we got onto that page and we saw that they were calling out for help for an event at Salcey Forest. It was the Petzl Night Runner. So we thought, we'll go along and help at that. So we went along and marshalled at that. That was really good fun. We were manning the water station, weren't we? I shouldn't say manning, that's not politically correct, is it? We were crewing the water station.
Manning it.
Yeah, Paul lit up like a Christmas tree, made it good fun. And then we hadn't actually booked anything in.
But I just need to skim back. So, joking aside, I know we're joking about carbon fibre and out of the box and bits and bobs. Genuine, I do think some of these, I think I got roped along with all the hype with this carbon fibre stuff. But genuinely, if you're going to get them, because these are a trail version, if you're going to get them, don't go head first. I think now I'll try them out. You do, I don't know, do a 5k or something. Ease yourself in. I think my legs are relatively strong. I think if I would have done that in the early days, that really would have given me some grief. Like it does, because it really does. It chucks you into a completely different. Is it gait? The running side of it, because even though that's a zero drop, we're all zero drop.
Yeah.
It definitely puts your leg not in. For me, it felt like it wasn't a zero drop. It felt like I'd got a heel raise, because they have a bit of a curve on them.
They're more rocked. They rock more, don't they?
Because they're trying to fire you forward. It really, when I've looked into it and had some advice off people, I think what it was doing, my big toe, because when you've got the neutral shoe, your foot it tends to hit the floor. Because I'm a heel striker, I'll come onto my shoes at some point, but I do wear the back out of the shoe really quick. And it's been said carbon fibres are not ideal for heel strikers. I love them to bits, but
you can't run in them. I
just have to walk in them a bit. You know what? I think I'm good for. I think
short trail runs.
I think even now, and I have been. I can't use them a lot because I've still got the heel on them. I do use them a bit. But I think for me, the most I could probably get out of that is 10 mile. I think I could. A trail half marathon. I could probably do 13 mile. And people have said just keep trying them, but. Genuine, I don't think they're for me because they're expensive as well, aren't they? Don't get wrapped up in all the hype about them all, because some people they just don't work. I love these trainers. Gutted, but they're not for me. I'm afraid they didn't make me go any quicker.
No, they made you go slower.
They made me go really, really slow. But yeah, joking aside. You know, one good thing they had on here though, didn't they? If you are an Ultra trainer wearer, they did have. It was one of the running shops, and they had a representative from Altra there, so you could try shoes on, which was quite good.
I'm not sure whether they do it at every event, but quite a few Big Bear events, they do have what they call a try-on event with Altra. So Altra will be there with, not every model they do, but they'll have some of their models with different sizes, and they'll allow you to try them on. And they'll have like a little run in them. I don't think you can run like a whole loop.
No, they were. People
were they allowed to?
People going out in them and doing. There was one woman, I think she had them on for longer than that. I bet if you did contact them, like if there was one coming up in a couple of months, I bet if you said, look, I'm looking at wanting to try, I don't know, the Lone Peaks 9, I bet you could probably let them know and they'd bring them. So that was quite good. And on the night one, the Petzl torch geezer was there.
Petzl.
When I say Petzl, I mean the torch. They were there, so you could try the head torches.
Yes.
I didn't realise how many head torches that company had got. No. You can't buy them. He wasn't there because I was like,
they're not selling them, and it's the same with Ultra. They're not selling them.
No.
So there's no pressure. They don't have any available to buy. They just literally have ones for you to try on.
But
with the head torches, you could run a lap wearing one of their head torches.
20% off on the trainers, wasn't it?
But yes, you got a 20% discount voucher for Ultra, obviously to buy from that shop, which is up and running, I think it is.
Which was quite good. And you did try on one of the head torches, because you hate them, don't you?
Yeah, we are going to look at the Petzl torches.
It did have a very different, because obviously, you know, normal head torches, it is a strap around your head.
I just find doing the really long ultras that we've done where you have to run through the night, so you have to wear it for a long time. It
could be 12, 13 hours, can't you?
They give me a really bad tension headache across here, and also I get like a massive dent in my forehead.
It stays there for ages.
And they hurt. I don't like them. But this Petzl brand, they did a really lightweight one, didn't they?
Yeah.
I tried it on, not tried running with it, but I just tried it on for a few minutes, and
it did seem quite good.
It seemed a lot lighter, so yeah.
So that's another little perk of it.
Sidetracked again.
Right, sidetracked. So
yeah, we marshalled in October at the Petzl Night Runner, and then we'd got all our other stuff booked in. We hadn't got any plans to necessarily do a Big Bear event. But then again, we saw, I think it was in February, they were calling out for marshals.
That was it.
They were calling out for marshals for Salcey Forest, not for the Elephant Challenge, but for the Petzl Night Trail that was taking place on the same day, but that evening. They needed marshals for that. So again, we had a conversation. It's not that far. It's only it's like an hour and a half drive for us. We weren't doing anything that day or early the next morning or anything. So we thought, yeah, we'll do that. We'll go along. So we volunteered to go and help out for the night run on that day. And then we were just working out, that was on the Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that weekend, we'd got stuff booked in. I was going to London with some girlfriends for overnight on the Saturday. We'd got on our training plan that we were supposed to be doing a really long run on the Saturday and then a long run on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was stressing a bit about how I was going to fit those in, because with going to London, it was going to be tricky. So I said to you, didn't I, just a thought, why don't we do the Elephant Challenge again in the day on the Friday, and then just stay on and do the marshalling that we've already volunteered to do. And then we won't need to do our long runs at the weekend. We can just do a shorter run, because we'll have done the time on our feet that our coach wants us to do, but just on the Friday instead of over the weekend. So that's what we decided to do, and it worked really well, didn't it?
Because I've got unfinished business there, hadn't I, really?
Yeah.
Because I've got me cold knee issue. And I saw the weather, and it was going to be warmer. So I thought, you know what?
Yeah, that bit's nonsense. But
you know what? Let's go back. I didn't have any new trainers at the time.
I know. Well, one condition of doing it, I said, you are not wearing new trainers.
You look, I didn't buy them new Tint boas.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we can have them out of the box. So we signed up for it, didn't we?
Signed up, yeah. So we made a day of it effectively. So we turned up again on the Friday morning. So it was the same as last year. It was a 9 o'clock start.
What was your goal?
I wanted to beat what I did last year.
Because you
I
got
did 10.
You got the 50k, didn't you, last year?
There's more than 50k.
But you class it. So you got the 50.
I did 10 laps. Well, I was thinking in laps. So I did 10 laps last year. So I wanted to do 11.
Right.
I just wanted to beat what I did last year. So I was like,
I wanted to get the 50k, didn't I? And so I took my nutrition, because I have obviously been having a few issues with nutrition. Again, I think that comes down to the cold. When you got a cold belly. Maybe
you're
my
just
belly.
trying to blame the weather for everything. That's nonsense.
I'm not. You know what I might have to do in the cold is run with a hot water bowl, because then it'll keep my belly warm, and then
that's what you want to do. Add more weight. That's a good
I'll be like a washing machine. So my key element was try my food out and try and get the 50k. How did yours go? Well, I know how yours went.
Really well.
Really well it went.
I really enjoyed it.
Really well.
Yeah, I didn't faff about taking any specific nutrition. I decided to use whatever was on the aid station, because I think that's good practice for your belly. And I don't tend to have as many issues as you do, with my stomach.
No.
I tend to be able to, most of the time, get away with what's traditionally at aid stations. I mean, I'm not saying I can just try random stuff, but I tend to be okay with the. To
be fair, I'm bigger though. I'm faster, and so I burn more calories.
No.
Huh?
You're not fast. You are bigger. You're not faster.
I was like a whippet on those first 3 laps. You told me to slow down. You can laugh all you like, but was I go? And I didn't even have my carbon fibre.
No, because I knew you were going to burn out.
No, you know what? At that time, I didn't feel that bad.
Well, we set off, didn't we?
We set off
together. And we were both feeling really good.
Keyword, together.
And we did run the first, how many laps? 3? Together. Quite fast.
Yeah, I think I was feeling good on that 3rd lap. And you were telling me to slow down. I was like, well, I'll just go off, but you wanted to keep together. So let's just put that out there. So on the 3rd lap, you wanted to stay with me, even though I was going quicker. And on the
because I knew you were going to slow down.
How did you know? No.
I just knew you.
But then you would have called me up. So being the gentleman, I was like, no problem, darling. I will stay with you. That's fine. We will run together. And then what happened?
You really slowed down.
I can't. You know what? I'm trying to think. As I was talking, I was thinking, what was the issue? Oh, hamstrings.
Yeah.
I was having. To be fair, it's easing off now, but sometimes I get. And I'd got my trainers, Mont Blancs, so I was wearing trainers that.
We were both wearing our Ultra Mont Blancs.
Yeah, which these. Yeah. The non-carbon version of those.
They're my favourite trail shoes. I love them.
Love them. Some people really give them grief because they say they don't fit, but we find them.
No, I love them.
Fantastic.
Absolutely
love them. But I've been having, I don't know, it's eased off now, but sometimes I get like hamstring pain. So I was getting a little bit of that. And in the past, one of the other key elements for me, in my head, I was like, when you're on that course, don't stop and walk. Don't walk. Do not bloody walk, because my head, I get some pain in that, and my head suddenly starts telling me what you need to do, Paul, because my head is, obviously the best coach in the world. It says, what you want to do, Paul, you want to stop and walk for a little bit, which will help your hamstrings, and then you can get going again. But what it's doing, it's being really bloody sneaky, and it's trying to make me walk, and then I'm like, oh, I like walking. Walking down. I was determined not to walk. And in my head, and I'd listen to a podcast, I think Everyday Ultra, Joe Corsione, who happens to be our coach. And it is, I think one of the things in there is like, if you're having pain, you know, when I say pain, it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, and I think my brain was going, it's hurting now, it's going to get worse. And then it sort of tells you, it's going to get worse, you're going to get injured, you won't be able to run. It gives you a list of things that's fake. It's actually making it up. But on this podcast, it was like, it might not get any worse. That just might be the uncomfortable. Look, Courtney Walter says it, don't you, about the pain cave. You know, you're not going to run these long distances and not have a few issues. Your body's fatigued. You don't want to do it. Your body doesn't want to do it. So you do get niggles, but if you let it get into your head, especially for me, it really does beat me up. And I was like, right, okay, right. Get some more calories in. The calories this time, they were going all right. I did have to swap it around a little bit, because I'll come on to the calories, but the calories went well. But I was like, right, just run. Try and run a bit quicker. It's not... And it made no difference. And in fact, after I think I had two slow laps, and then I think my head got into gear. Well, he ain't bloody stopping. We tried every angle to get him to stop, and he ain't stopping. And it was there. Whether or not it was exactly the same, but I just weren't taking it the same. And I just carried on going. And I did really well, didn't I?
Yeah.
I beat you. No,
you didn't.
Well, I could have. I didn't want to. But yeah, it did. For me, it did go well. Not as well as Aimee, because Aimee was powering through. And just
we ended up separating because you slowed down and I didn't want to slow down.
So when I was going quick and you slowed down and I stayed with you.
No, I didn't slow down. I was suggesting that we perhaps should both slow down.
I was suggesting no. Yeah. Well, when I
was worried you were going to burn out.
Well, when I was having a few hamstring issues, I suggested that we stick together. Oh no! She went. Off she went. You left me.
Well, it didn't go like that. You said, just go.
No, that...
In quite an aggressive tone.
No, because you do this...
Yes, you did.
You have this amazing ability to tell me you want to run off without telling me you want to run off. You've just got this amazing ability. You go slightly ahead and inching away, and I'm thinking, all right, inch away, and you keep looking behind like, you're right, and I'm like, she's going to leave me. And then I just... In my head, my head goes, no, go, sound, no problem. Go off, I'll meet you at the end. My mouth, for some reason...
Says it more aggressively than that.
It comes out different, doesn't it, out of my mouth? Yeah, I think there's that little, I don't know, the translation bit between my brain and my mouth, which has got me in trouble a few times. But I think I said, no problem, Aimee, if you just go off, enjoy yourself for the rest of the day, and then what I'll do, I'll meet up with you at the end.
No, you went, just go.
Yeah, see, it's that translation thing again. But then...
So I did.
She shot off. But then after, I think I had 2 issues with my brain on 2 laps, and then I got my arse into gear and it went all right kind of thing. I got to the 50k.
9 laps.
I did the 9 laps. I could have gone, because that was on 5 hours, 23 minutes.
So you could have gone again?
I could have. It was one of them.
You had time. I
had time, but I thought to myself, you know what, I've done the 50k.
And that was your goal?
Yeah, and I knew you were going quite well. And I thought, I'm not just saying this. I thought, look, I could go again, but I did want to, because I knew you were going well. Because I asked Paul and said, where are you at? So I knew you'd got past your 10 or... Anyway, you were doing well. So I thought I might as well get a bit of footage of you coming in. So, yeah, it did. It went well for me. The biggest thing I found on that one, for me, what would I say? The biggest, what's it?
Win?
Yeah, I suppose the biggest win for me was me winning over my head. Because I didn't walk on any of them. Just stating that. No, that was my biggest thing, was I didn't want to walk on any. And I did it. Which that was the biggest win for me. It weren't doing the 50k or doing it at the time. That wasn't, I don't want to sound like it's big-headed or anything, but it's 30 miles. It is a training run for us. But it was beating my brain, because that negativity, once you let it in, it's once you let that negativity, I call that negativity in the back of my mind, Aimee.
Oh.
Joke. But you were smashing it, so you...
Yeah, I was going really well.
Did you have any dodgy laps?
No.
No.
No, it was going really, really well, and I had my watch on this occasion, so I could see. I think you had to do 7 and a bit laps to get to a marathon, and I could see. I think around lap 5, you do that mental arithmetic in your head, don't you, when you've got a goal in mind and a time or whatever. And I'm always like working things out in my head, and I suddenly realised that I could potentially get a marathon PB. Because we've never done an official road marathon, but we've done marathon distance in training, and obviously every time you do an ultra, you do a marathon because you go over it, don't you?
Yeah.
So our watches tell us what our fastest marathon is, and I think mine was 5 hours something. I mean, we are not fast runners.
No.
But I was looking at my watch thinking, I could actually potentially get under 4 hours here for a marathon, which would blow my mind, to be honest. For me, that's fast. I don't know, that's not fast at all. I mean, elite runners do it ridiculously fast. But
it's good.
I was like, wow, because that's kind of always been a goal of mine. It's like a little bucket list thing. I would like to do a marathon in under 4 hours, like no official marathon. I want to do it in under 4 hours. At some point, train and do it properly. Maybe even do quicker than that, I don't know. But I'd got under 4 hours in my head. And I thought that was like a long way off, and I'd never be able to do it without training specifically for that. But I was thinking, I could potentially get this. So that really pushed me on. So I was really, really push. And then I'd done the 7, so I only needed to do a part. But I wasn't going to turn and come back because obviously I was going to carry on and do an ultra. So I was just going to keep going until my watch told me I'd done 26.2. And I did, according to my watch, I did take a picture of it as well. I did pause. This is what I shouldn't have done. I paused my watch to get my phone out and video. I did stop after I'd gone past what I thought was the 26.2 miles. I paused my watch and stopped and got my phone out because I wanted to video that what it showed on my watch. My watch was counting down the time because Joe, our coach, had put it into our training plan as a 6-hour training run.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'd started on my watch on the start line. So it was counting down from the 6 hours. And I still had something like 2 hours, 1 minute and 56 seconds left, which to me meant I'd done the marathon in under 4 hours. Yeah. Because I'd still got over 2 hours left. And I was absolutely ecstatic. Oh my God, I've just done a marathon in under 4 hours. So I videoed just for a few seconds my watch, and then I unpaused it and carried on. But that kind of took the pressure off me a little bit at that point, because I was like, oh wow, I've got a marathon PB. I'd still got loads of time left. I'd got 2 hours left.
Yeah. I
was like, I'm just going to carry on and do whatever I do. I still wanted to get 11 laps, but I'd got plenty of time to do the 11 laps. I was like, yeah, this is going really well. So on that 7th lap, there was one hill, wasn't there? There's one, it's not particularly...
Is that the long hill with the logs on?
Yeah. It's not particularly steep, but it goes on for a long time. And when you're on like your 8th, 9th lap, whatever, you can really feel it in your legs. So on my 7th lap, I'd already hit the marathon distance a bit further back, and then I hit the bottom of that hill, and I was running up it, and I did walk a small section of that hill. It was only for a couple of minutes, but I did walk. Because I'd pushed myself that hard to get that marathon PB, I was feeling a bit like... on that hill, I'm exhausted. So I did walk just for a couple of minutes, but then I probably walked, I want to say maybe 20% of it.
All of it? No,
I didn't. Honestly, hand on heart, I didn't. But then I carried on running, and then after that I didn't walk again. So that was the only time I walked, and the only time I stopped was when I stopped at the marathon to video.
Oh no, she ran off and left me.
That's the genuine truth. So yeah, carried on, and then you saw me... When I was approaching the finish on lap 10, you were waiting for me.
Yeah.
And you videoed me for a few seconds and said, come on, you were taking the mickey, saying, come on, hurry up, I want to have a coffee. Hurry up and do another one, I want to have a coffee. So, yeah. Yeah, because
I was waiting for you to go. So I was like, there's a calf there on site as well, calf toilets, so yeah, that's a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I so want a coffee. And I was thinking, right, because I asked Paul when you'd gone out, and he was like, oh, because he can see, because obviously you've got the little chip thing on your foot. And I was thinking, well, she's going to guarantee I'm going to go into that coffee shop, walk out with my coffee, and I'm going to see your back end of you running back off out. So I thought, I can't. I'm thinking, hurry up, Amy. Mom, what are you thinking about? So you did. I copped you coming in, didn't I? And that was number 10.
That was lap 10.
And you still got loads. You had got quite a bit of time.
I think it was about quarter to. I think I got about 15 minutes left on the 6 hours, but I could go back out because my finish time. I stopped running at 6:21.
Yeah.
So.
But
I'd got time to go out again, so I went out and did my 11th, didn't I?
Yep.
And then Paul came and met me.
There was a little funny bit in that. What happened on your last lap? by the logs.
Oh, I completely forgot, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I had forgotten about that. I was running one section just before you start that, we say it was a section of the lap where there were some logs at the bottom and it was that hill that I was just talking about. Before that, there was a long straight bit and then there was a bit of downhill. And on that bit of downhill before you got to that hill, I could see in front of me, there was very few runners left on the course at this point, but in the distance I could see this person lying on the floor and he was moving very strangely and I just think, what is going on, as I was like running closer. When I got to him, it was a runner literally lying on the floor in what looked like a very awkward position. So of course I stopped and I said, are you okay? What's happening? And basically he'd got really severe cramp, like really bad. He couldn't move and he couldn't get up. And I was like, oh my goodness, what can I do to help you? Because one thing with an event like this, I mean, you can choose to carry nutrition if you want to, but we weren't carrying anything. We didn't have water with us or... Oh no, we did carry... Sorry, no, we did. We both carried a handheld water bottle. Yep. That was another thing we did as training because it makes you keep drinking as you go round rather than have to gulp a load down between each lap. So we did have little carry bottles, but that's all I had. Like, I didn't have any salt tablets or anything that you might want to give someone that's cramping. And, like, didn't have... Not that first aid kit would have helped him, but we didn't have anything on me like that. All I had was my mobile phone. But I was like, are you okay? And he was lying on his front, basically, like facing in, like, almost in the ditch, but across the track. But I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And he said, my wife's going to come and get me. And I said, well, does your wife know you're here? And he said, well, once I can get my phone out of my pocket, because he couldn't get to his pocket because of the way he was lying to get his phone out. He said, I'm going to phone her. I said, look, let me ring my partner because he's at the start and finish. Let me ring him because I've got my phone here, and then he can tell the race director, who can then tell your wife.
I was with the race director having me coffee.
That's what I did. I rang Paul.
I was like, why is Aimee ringing me? I was thinking, because the first thing I thought, I was like, oh shit. Because you do think something's gone wrong, or you've gone that quick, and I was thinking, no way, is she coming around the corner now? But you rang me, didn't you? Yeah,
I was like, we've got a fallen runner. Can you tell Paul we've got a fallen runner? In the meantime, the guy had actually managed to just about wrestle his phone out of his pocket, so he then started phoning his wife as well.
But Paul knew, because we gave the so you gave me the bib number.
Yes.
I said to Paul, it's his bib number, and he said, oh, it's because obviously this geezer must do quite a few. So he said, oh, that's so-and-so. And I think I said, oh, he's trying to get hold of his wife, and Paul, the race director, said, oh, yeah, that's her over there. And I turned, I could see she was on the phone, so I was on the phone to you. He was on the phone to his wife. It was like a bloody four-way conversation. Yeah. And I can remember going, telling me, yeah, he's on his phone to his wife. She ain't exactly moving very bloody quick, and she does. You know what I mean? He was on the floor in bits, ringing his wife up to come and rescue him, and she was just tooling off down the path. And I was like, what? Oh, but that slowed you down.
So yes, I did stop for a few minutes. But then I said to him, look, unless there's anything you want me to do, I don't really know what I can do to help you now. Your wife's on the way, and he's like, no, it's fine. Leave me. I'll be okay. So I carried on. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I carried on and finished my lap. You were waiting a little bit along the track. That was quite funny actually, because I could see in the distance Paul waiting for me, and then he started sort of hobbling towards me.
Because my legs had seized up a bit.
And he decided to run into the finish with me, but that was quite funny because you were really hobbling.
It was, because your legs, even though, look, if we do these, after 30 mile, once you stop, your legs do go a little bit stiff. So to try and get going again, and I was like, oh man.
But you managed it. You ran in with me, didn't you? You ran in on my last lap. So yeah, I did my 11 laps, which I was absolutely chuffed with. Really, really pleased. So I did the 38.5 miles in 6 hours 21, which on the leaderboard, leaderboard, that meant I was first overall. So I know it's not a race, but I was first overall. And Paul was fifth overall.
Thank you.
And fourth male.
Thank you. Fifth for me.
You did very well as well.
For me, in the scheme of this results, that's quite good for me, isn't it?
Very good.
But
the only thing that annoyed me a little bit was when I uploaded the run to my watch and looked at all my stats. It turned out according to my watch, I didn't do a marathon under 4 hours.
You got fleeced, didn't you?
I did it in 4 hours, 1 minute and so many seconds. I can't remember.
Was it even 1 minute? I thought it was only a few seconds.
No, it was 4 hours, 1 minute and something seconds. So I did go over the 4 hours according to the official stats, although I've got video of my watch saying otherwise.
It's irrelevant.
It's
not on your watch.
But that was still a significant marathon PB. Because my previous time was 5 hours and something.
It's not full though, is
it? I smashed my marathon PB.
Yeah.
Which
fair play, chap.
I'm still really happy about that.
I don't even know what my marathon would have been on that then.
Did it not tell you? Your watch should have told you. Well, I suppose it would only have signalled it if it was a PB.
I wonder if I can go in there and see where I was at on the 20...
Yeah, you could probably work it out.
6 mile. Oh, God, just think if I beat you. That'd be horrible, wouldn't it?
You might have. We'll have to have a look. We'll have a look.
Oh,
we'll do an update.
Yeah.
If
you know what? Not a chance. Not a chance.
So, yeah, we finished.
Yep.
That was great. We got our flapjack, which was the last ever flapjack.
It was.
Well, not we got the last flapjack, literally, but that's the last event at which he's going to hand out those
flapjack.
Absolutely delicious flapjacks. We had a bottle of apple juice.
Yeah.
Got our medals and our badges. And then we went off for a bit, didn't we? We changed out of our running gear and went off and found a McDonald's because we were trying to find somewhere to eat locally because we didn't have a lot of time. Because we needed to be back for 5:30, didn't we?
Yeah.
To help out because we were volunteering on the Petzl night run.
The night run.
So, yeah, that was interesting. Hadn't really thought that through, had we? Obviously, marshalling, you're standing up, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we've done much longer ultras, but as Paul said, any ultra distance, you do feel sore on the day. I think once you stop, your brain goes, oh, that was a long run.
Your legs seize up a bit.
You're going to seize up. So we were a bit stiff and sore, weren't we? So we had to walk out to... Paul, the race director, had very kindly given us checkpoint. We were both at a corner on the course where we could see each other. Because it was a lap, this particular loop, these two junctions were quite close together, weren't they? So we could see each other, but we were on a different part of the course, effectively. And we had to make sure that our runners, when they got to us, went in the right direction because there was like a junction. So I was basically saying, go left. That's confusing as well, isn't it? When you're facing them, I was having to say turn left but point with my right hand because they were coming towards me and then turning. That was well confusing.
Yeah, you were, but...
Yeah.
Lucky I don't know them left for right, so I was going...
awful with left and right.
Go left. I was getting told off for saying go left. Because of the razzles.
Yeah, I had to keep saying mentally, you've got to say left even though I'm pointing with my right hand. But yeah, just basically had to stand on this corner with the torches and everything and cheer them on.
We had flashing lights.
We had flashing lights to signal where we were, cheer them on and then make sure they went the right direction.
Yep.
But that meant we were stood. Well, it was a little bit of a walk to that point. It was probably only half a mile, but it was a walk.
That was nice because that loosened us off.
Yeah, and then we had to stand for a couple of hours.
Yeah, weren't even that.
Which when you're a bit sore, I found myself, I was sort of jigging and dancing because I didn't want to stand still because that was making me stiffen up even more. So I was just basically jigging around, and I put some like cowbell noises on my mobile phone. And I was jiggling around, like cheering on these runners. It was good fun, but it was interesting for our legs. So we ended up doing a lot more steps, didn't we?
Yeah.
In the evening, but enjoyed it. It was good fun.
There were some people motoring around there.
Oh,
what,
yeah,
was it,
really
10k?
Fast. It was 10k, yeah.
Yeah, some of them people do those 10ks.
Super fast, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're rapid.
And I like seeing the dogs as well.
Yeah.
The dogs are funny.
What tends to happen with the dogs? Water. They see a puddle of water.
My corner, there was a massive puddle and nearly every dog just dove straight into the puddle.
Yeah, I had a little like swamp thing and they were in there and yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, then when obviously the tail runner had come through and then the other marshals who'd already seen the tail runner, they walked to where we were and then we all walked into the finish together and then we helped pack everything away. It's amazing how much goes into putting these events on. There's a lot to pack away.
I don't think people realise because you rock up at these things, don't you? And you kind of see a few tables, you've got where they put the food on, you've got some gazebos. I think in your head you kind of look at it, it ain't a lot. But
it is. There's a lot going on when you think you've got to pack it down at night, and I hold my hat off to them. There is a lot of work that goes into them. Yeah, there really is. And for it's 30, 35 quid or whatever it was, or even not for that. You're getting a lot. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I hold my hat off to anybody who puts on a race. But it is, it's really worth doing. It is. I don't know, you feel like you are giving something back. Because when we're out running, and we've done quite a lot of runs, and when you're down on your luck on some of these runs, and you've got a nice aid station, or can make all the difference.
Yeah,
I think if they're really trying to G you up, cheer you on, and
it really does. I don't know. It does help. It does help.
Well, we've done it a few times now, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've done a couple now for Big Bear. We've done another.
Yeah, and I'm a bit lively, so it probably does knock some people off because I'm well lively. But yeah, I think sometimes if you're happy messing around and that.
But I would encourage you, anyone watching this, if you've not volunteered on a race, do it. Cause it helps keep races going. I mean, a lot of these events wouldn't be able to run without volunteers.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to stuff it, not with the costs.
And it just feels good to give back, doesn't it? And it's good fun.
Yeah.
And we don't do it for this reason, but a lot of events, they'll give you something in return for volunteering. It's different with different events, but you might get a free place on another race or discounts off stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, volunteering, it's good fun.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I will encourage anyone to do it.
Do it. But right, so rounding it off. Definitely an event. So if you're thinking of dabbling into ultra distance, say you're on your marathon and you do want to go into some at 30, 35 mile or something, be a bit like an A to B or something. Don't know, because what happens if something happens? I've not done that extra 10 mile or whatever you're going for. These are brilliant.
Yeah.
They are brilliant.
Just try it.
Yeah, just try it. Try it because you'll know, I don't know, like we've said numerous times, you can try stuff. And there's no pressure. There's no pressure. If you're having a bad time, you're not going to DNF on one of these.
No, you can't DNF.
You're not going to DNF. So definitely
do one lap. If you're not feeling it, stop.
Still
get a medal. They're really, really good events.
100%. 100%.
Really like them.
So they are the Big Bear events, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're all on the social medias. Good website, loads of races. He does a lot of races.
Oh, and also we didn't mention he does a podcast now.
Yeah, he's doing a podcast.
Paul
Probably
and
a
Aimee,
lot more.
Big Bear Trail Times, I think it's called.
Probably a lot more professional than this one.
Yeah, give him a listen.
Yeah, well, I think he's on number 8, so he's got a few in front of us, ain't he, really? I don't even know what number we're on. But yeah, that's it. So we've had to get this one in because we've just done it. Other than that, we'd forget it. I don't even know which one we're going to do next.
No,
Who knows? Who knows? We're just going to put another one on. Yeah. So I think when we originally said we're going to go back, it's probably going to go...
We're jumping all over the
place. All over the place, but it's just a chat about what we've got up to. So this one then, Amy beat me on this one. Right, even though it was a race, so Amy beat me on this one, so we'll have a look and see what happens on the next one. I dare say I can probably predict the future. Right, let's round it up. We're going to put all the information in wherever it goes, and yes, hopefully we will see you on the next one, which is about, we don't know. We don't know. But it'll be us having a chat. So thank you again. If you've got this far, thank you so much. Don't forget to follow us.
Social media, yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook as Solemate Runners. Give us a like and a follow.
What do they say on YouTube? Subscribe. On YouTube, subscribe. But yeah, right, we're going. Right, bye.
Thanks for listening.